Sorry.
Raphael.
I mean, honestly.
We can do this.
Come on, Raphael. Keep it down.
Admiral, back here with Fire Emblem 3 Houses, our Verdant Wind Assassins only run. Last episode was what can only be described as a rousing success. I consider myself perfectly roused now, and so roused, in fact, that we are going to do a support theater episode before we get on into our monastery episodes. The monastery episodes, by the way, which are going to be very, very tense because we have only 2 weeks left to recruit the last few people, if I understand everything correctly. And I just had the one thought while I was sort of reasoning through everything, although this doesn't really apply till the next episode when we're actually going back to the monastery. Even if Gilbert is back with the knights, which I think they are, am I right in my impression that he's the only one with heavy armor? So to get our heavy armor from E+ to D+ would take... Oh yeah, shoot to D+. Oh no, right, that makes sense. So because we're basically at D, we're 1 point away from D, so our first teaching would bring us like up a ways into D. So it would take 3 or 4, assuming goods, not greats, to do that. So if Gilbert's the only one, that's actually impossible. But if you get up to B+ support, I think with Ferdinand, i.e. halfway from B to A, then the requirement drops down to E+, which we already have. So we might want to consider not focusing any of our points into heavy armor, focusing all of them into trying to get gifts for him. I need my cheat sheet, though. No, but not for this episode. For this episode, it's a support theater. But that's just something to bear in mind going into next episode anyway. So support theater, let's do this. There are many fewer than probably it looks like, because every time you pick someone, we can see all the ones that we can't do yet because it'll take some time. So in reality, most of them who have any showing up here only have like 1. But let's start with Mercedes and Ignatz. There's going to be a lot of out at party supports, which are going to be very interesting.
Hi, Ignatz. You're in a hurry. Is something the matter?
Not so much that I couldn't stop to talk to you. I forgot to turn off the clicking, sorry.
The professor wants us to gather at the training grounds. Didn't you hear?
Of course I did. I'll head over in a bit.
Are you sure you want to wait? I can hear the professor calling.
With their signature loud voice.
We're not needed until after the lunch hour. We have plenty of time.
Oh, I guess so. I was just panicking a bit. I wish I could be calm like you. How are you so unflappable?
Well, rushing around doesn't help, does it? I mostly try to stay out of everyone's way.
Big mood.
There's no point in overexerting yourself. Anything that needs doing will get done eventually.
Now that I'm not sure I could get behind. I don't think my... I think I'm with Ignatz. I don't think my scatterbrain mind would permit that, but I like the chill. I aspire to the chill.
Huh. So that's the secret to happiness.
I suppose, but it's not nearly as philosophical as you make it sound.
I'm not sure. He did make it sound very philosophical.
No, it's perfect. I feel like I don't quite fit in with other people. So in situations like this, where I have to talk to someone, I panic a little.
Bigger mood.
Please. Teach me how to be as calm and collected as you are.
Anything that he's doing will be done eventually. She just told you the secret.
Honestly, Ignatz, you're making this out to be much bigger than it is. I mostly just don't pay attention. Being like me is more trouble than it's worth.
But you always seem so happy. I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize. Come on, let's head to the training grounds. I may slow you down now.
All right. You don't have to rush. But I'm going to anyway. See you there.
Goodness, don't strain yourself.
Well, what an interesting start to that little support chain. I might have seen that one before, but I'm almost certain, I would say, that I haven't seen the rest of it. So that'll be certainly an interesting one to build as we carry on here. Sorry, I didn't have the clicking turned off for that one. Lorenz and... Is this Catherine up? No, Lorenz and Dorothea. Oh, I can only imagine.
Ah, Dorothea.
Oh, God.
Beauty puts even the most pristine flower to shame.
What is it with Lorenz and not starting with hello?
Lawrence, as silver-tongued as ever.
Oh, not at all. I must bid you good day.
I see the rumors are true. What a shame.
Rumors? About me? Whatever do you mean?
Only chasing the nobles.
Why, that you're always ready to flirt, unless she's a commoner. Then you'll bid her good day as quickly as possible. Like you did with me just now. Are we so unpleasant to speak to, us commoners?
That is a rather pointed question, but I do happen to
So you best give a pointed answer.
As the heir to House Gloucester, I am in search of a bride of suitable social status.
Would have been so much shorter to just say yes.
The alliance isn't fully unified. I require someone who will help bring it together.
I'd think you could find plenty of suitable women, even among the masses.
Do not be so certain. A lady who marries me must be prepared to enter noble society, whether she wishes to or not.
Oh, you almost had a point earlier. It needs to be someone with enough social sway to unify the alliance. Like, that's sort of gross, but at least has a foundation in the society you are living in. Commoners not being prepared to enter noble society? Oh, I don't know about that.
It is a complex web of etiquette and expectation, not a world one could easily step into without the proper upbringing.
Oh, I don't love that.
What's more, House Gloucester would hardly see much benefit were I to join myself to the household of a commoner.
Oh boy, we've nosedived.
I can imagine. Well, I suppose that means any friendship between you and I is doomed as well.
Isn't that a rather excessive conclusion?
You want someone to birth your house's next generation. I want someone to share my life with. I'm not even an option in your eyes, and you're hardly viable in mine.
And friendship can only ever lead to relationships. It's true. This is Fire Emblem, after all. Also, did you hear how evil she sounded when she said, oh, I can imagine? Or not evil, but like, pissed.
However, we're all friends here, aren't we? So I suppose politeness at the very least is in order.
Which is why I will leave without saying another word. That was awesome. I do feel a little bit bad for Lawrence, though, because, like, much as I sass on him, he clearly has no idea where he's going wrong because he's thinking about it in a purely binary sense of politically helpful, not politically helpful, rather than what is a cool thing to say to somebody.
Lysithia, do you have a moment?
I do. What do you need to speak with me about?
I was thinking about the time we talked about our crests bringing bad weather.
Yes. We never did get to test that theory, since I haven't found any sun-bringing folks.
Joking aside, each crest is unique in how it impacts the bearer's life. I've seen more than my share of crest bearers, after all. Some of them bore crests of Karen like us. Some even bore crests of Gloucester.
Certainly. But I don't see your point.
I think you do.
I'm not a crest scholar. I don't know all the details. I have a knack for guessing a person's crest just by looking at them.
And she guessed both.
Forgive me, but do you have 2 crests?
Well?
You don't have to tell me. I mean, it shouldn't even be possible to bear 2 crests. So if you do have 2, you must be sitting on some major secrets.
It's nice to know that someone understands.
Of course. Everyone has things they would rather not talk about. For all you know, Catherine's not my real name. Maybe I'm an outlaw on the run from my homeland.
Well, we did get a hint that that was maybe a thing earlier, didn't we? Was it between her and Leonie? Which was the first I'd heard of it.
That can't be true, can it? Stop messing with me.
I was kidding. Though, who knows? Maybe there is some truth in it. My point is, no matter what secrets we're keeping, I'm still me, and you're still you. I do worry a little about you. You never seem to let your guard down around other people. That can't be easy. You know, it's important for you to relax once in a while.
I don't even know the meaning of the word.
That's easy. Just gab with your friends about something pointless, and the stress will fade away. I'm always happy to chat, if you're interested.
Well, thank you. Why are you being so kind to me anyway?
I just feel a certain kinship with you. We both have crests of Karen, and we both have secrets we can't share with anyone.
I see. I will say I'm happy to have someone around who actually seems to understand me.
Good. You can feel comfortable with me. Since we have the same crest, we're basically sisters.
Don't know I'd go that far.
I really like that. Someone as wonderful as you is my big sister?
Well, don't you just say the cutest things. That's my little sister for you.
Oh, that was really nice. I don't think I've seen that one either. I had seen the C support of that though. And what an interesting way for that to turn out. I do like Catherine a lot I think she's a character who could risk being very one note. The sworn knight who was taken in by Rhea, and so all she ever does is talk about the church and like repaying her duty and her honor as a knight or whatever. And I think they are good about not going that route too hard. Like it ends up being that sort of like the major plot route of her in certain story branches. In relationships with Lysithia and like Ash, for instance, she's very much, and Shamir very much shows more depth than that. And I think you could say something similar for Ciro, because they both had that very deep attachment to Rhea to the point that that could be all their character was about. But, well, it's interesting. Catherine, for both two people who are so attached to Rhea in that way, Catherine kind of has a surprisingly softer side. And Cyril has a sort of surprisingly sharper side, I guess. Not in a bad way about Cyril, but I mean, like, he can be very honest with people in a brutal sort of way, like with Manuela. But I think it usually is to their benefit. And Catherine can be sort of the opposite. She can, for all her, brawn and intimidation factor, she can also be very, very tender and sweet at times, as just seen. So it looks like this is going to be a much shorter support theater episode than I had bargained for, because it looks like we've only got one left, Raphael and Ingrid, which I'm almost certain I've never seen.
This meat is so good. I wish I could send some home to my little sis.
But that would be food poisoning, unless you used ice magic, I guess.
Raphael, what are you doing here?
Oh, I was just enjoying some of this roast. Did you want a bite?
in the
I meant, what are you doing here?
meat
This
reception
isn't
hall.
the dining hall.
That's funny. Of course I know this isn't the dining hall.
You know that, and yet you're stuffing your face here rather than where it's appropriate. You're not even seated.
Why is she so angry?
Is that the best way to eat? If you think so, let's sit down.
You're missing the point. At least use a plate.
Oh, come on, Ingrid. Are you saying you wouldn't
I don't
do
have
what
a
he's
plate
doing?
with me, so there's nothing I can do about that now. But since when are you so proper, Ingrid?
Oh, maybe it's like she's a bit envious that he's able to do that and no one bats an eye because he's a commoner. Whereas because she's noble, even though she'd love to just go chow down on a huge-ass roast without a plate in the reception hall, it would be a little more taboo for her. Okay, I'm sorry. That was insensitive of me to jump at her so strong there.
Not proper at all. You're just downright crude. Have you no respect for yourself in your journey to knighthood? Knights must work from
She is going a bit hard on
to be
this, though.
outstanding in all facets. You are making a mockery of all that we stand for. You
Slow down. I can't do all this listening while I'm trying to eat.
disgusting. Now you've spilled gravy all over your shoes and your chin.
Where did the gravy come from? Was he just carrying that in his pocket?
Now you need everything to be neat and tidy? You're really particular.
This has nothing to do with me. It's what's expected of a knight.
Wait. All I have to do is be neat and tidy, and I can become a knight? Forget all that studying then. I'm just gonna work on being the neatest and tidiest one here.
Wait, that is not what I said.
Oh, really? You're probably right.
Instantly gives
I
up.
shouldn't bother with the neat and tidy stuff.
You are impossible.
What the hell was that all about? I mean, I'm guessing that's what it is. Wait, sorry, tell me that goes to A. Oh, I can't wait to see the rest of that. That's got to be so weird and fun. Well, that was an interesting little handful of sports we had there. Sorry, I thought there were like a few more than that. Like I said, it's a bit deceptive, and how many dots there are for how few sports we actually had. And the only intra-party support I believe we had was Catherine and Lysithia. Among those, everyone else is just like they're people we're not using really. By the way, we have no more advanced seals, right? Right, okay. Whoa, hello. Sorry, Assassin Lauren's looks pretty dope. Sick. The way it's all sort of black and gray, but then like the heart guard area is purple. It's dope. So that's all for this episode. Next week we'll go to the channel. It's going to be some more Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but that was a fun little mini support theater. And next episode we're going to be throwing ourselves all the way in, my friends, to to our monastery days and doing our diggity dangdest to recruit every dang one. We have a buttload of money now, so we can get a whole bunch of gifts for one thing. First order of business is seeing if the knights are back, because that will affect our who we're doing our spending all of our activity points with. And then probably want to start with meals on for Ferdinand, because I think he's going to be our tough one to do right now. Because we either have to get our armor up to D+ and support up to B with him, or our support up to B+ with him. Either way, we have to bring his support up a fair chunk, so I'm a little nervous. Although I think I'm guessing that since we know that we were at C+, with Mercedes, because we know that our recruitment parameters changed for her. I'm guessing because we've been sort of keeping them all equal, we're near to C+, and therefore near to B. We're at C+, and therefore near to B with basically everyone that we're trying to recruit here. So I think we're probably closer than we think to a B support with him, but then we're going to have to put in a whole heck of a lot more to get to B+, which I think is probably the better way than attempting to get our armor up to D+. But the trick with B+ is it doesn't give you a little notification, and you only get to try recruiting them once per week. So it's not like we could try recruit him, give another item to see if we're up to B+, try and recruit him again. We have to just give as many items as we think it will take to get us up to B+, and then try and recruit him. So that'll be a little A little awkward. Because you would think C plus would need an armor of D plus, and then B would need an armor of D, and then B plus would need an armor of V plus. But it doesn't work that way. It's D plus, D plus, D plus until you hit B plus, at which it just drops in a whole letter grade to E plus. Anyway, that's all for now, though. So, thank you so very much for going around to this episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses are Verdant, Wind Assassins Only. We're on episode 50, if I'm not mistaken. Holy crap, this is a long series already. We are about the halfway mark, so. But I think the fights will get a lot easier now that we're actually, you know, all assassins for our Assassin's Run. Well, except for Lawrence, Hilda, and Catherine. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! Like I said before, it's obnoxious to have to go back to places and do that. They had a heck of a lot of quests in, Wild in this place, anyway.
This is perfect. I've got a favor to ask. Some of the gods have had stuff on their minds lately. All the lights in the